So we're going to go into the OnBright software. And, excuse me, could you get me a cup of water, please? Thank you. Just wanted to show a little bit of history. I'm a history guy. And for those of you who don't know how we started, our founder, Robert Chappell, injured his arms from typing too much in the early 90s. Bought Dragon Naturally Speaking for $10,000 and then lost his voice and invented the first Windows-based eye tracking technology when Windows 95 came out. And the rest is history. We've helped tens of thousands of clients over the years. This is the original device. It's in our office in Tempe, Arizona, is where we're founded. And now we have the EyeOn Elite and the EyeOn Go at our booth at 807, just next door. And we're really excited to not only offer great software and great hardware, but lifetime success coach service so that you as the therapists, the caregivers, and the clients have the support they need every step of the way. There's my family. I live in Arizona as well, and, near the headquarters. And I've been with EyeTech for 18 years. Absolutely love what I do. I've been around the world helping clients all across the world. Now I cover the Southwest as a regional consultant. But we do have reps who cover across the country, and then we're in about 35 countries globally. We did win a big award when we partnered with Microsoft to create eye tracking as a standard human interface device class, which was a really exciting step to improve the eye tracking experience at a deeper level. And this past year, we actually won some awards for AI and machine learning as well. So we're going to dive into the OnBright software, and in particular, the Bright symbol. And this was developed by our SuccessCoach team with feedback from users, as well as our speech therapist on staff, Amanda, who's fantastic. So we really like to work with you as the therapist to hear that feedback, and now that we design and have our own software in the OnBright platform, on the EyeOn Elite, we can get that feedback and push updates in real time to the users. And this is what we're all about. We're all about improving the user experience, finding those pain points, and so we'll do a deep dive now into the OnBright software. And do you guys have any particular questions that you'd like addressed? I'd like it to be more interactive. If you have some questions, raise your hand and I can kind of come down and make sure we're spending our 20 minutes most efficiently. Is there any particular things that you'd like addressed? No? Okay. Okay, perfect. So in the OnBright platform, we have symbol and text-based page sets. We have an integrated web browser, which is great for eye gaze users, and then environmental controls built in, and our EyeOn access is fantastic. Users can use dwell click or blink click dynamically in the desktop. How many of you have seen a user use blink click? Okay, just a couple. A lot of our I call them power users who are doing browser-based applications. Thank you for the water. They're doing their lesson plans in, usually like Chrome or other programs. So I'll show you a deep dive of that. All right. So OnBright has everything integrated, nice home screen dashboard. And I'll show you how the environmental controls is very easy to program. For any IR remote, I just got a Samsung remote. We'll just go through a couple of scenarios so you can see the flow. But definitely leverage your regional consultant in your area who can come out on site. We have loaner devices so you can get your hands on the devices. They have a really great story about our regional consultant serving them. Actually had her baby right before the presentation. It was in the news, but here's the dashboard. So this software was designed a couple years ago by our software team with eye gaze first UI design. So everything's to empower the user to have complete control of the experience, updates, a lot of the things that other softwares just kind of have the caregivers do for them. So this software empowers the users to have complete control. So here I'm going to go into the hamburger menu in the upper left, and here I have all my settings. And I'm going to, for those of you who aren't familiar, we use a dark pupil technique that we've perfected over the last 26 years, continue to improve. Head motion tolerance, you can see how it locks onto the eye. Turn, come back. We work a lot with kids with Rett syndrome, cerebral palsy, things like that, all the way to ALS clients. You can see the user distance, and then we can do a calibration directly in the software of OnBright. And then we'll cover the text-based and the symbol-based communication options. And we'll go over what we call the bookshelf, which is a really fantastic option for your kiddos. So we'll go ahead and go into the hamburger menu. I can go ahead and calibrate. We'll go ahead and launch the calibration. Again, the user can do this all themselves, smooth and seamlessly. So I'm going to look at what's called our user-driven calibration. This is leveraging our AI 2.0 eye tracking on a chip technology, which gives user about a 30% improvement in error reduction because we're taking the timing sequence out of the equation. Once we get 1 second of good data, the calibration disappears and we move on to whatever point they want to use next. So we run hundreds of subjects through these calibration procedures and run them through different improvements for accuracy, precision, head motion tolerance, glasses performance, and so on. So I'll go ahead and go back to my home screen, and you'll see this continue to evolve and improve over time, more apps and other things. Bright control is our environmental control. I love this, how smooth and seamless it is for the users to be able to control their TV. So I've already programmed a TV, but let's go ahead and go into editing a button. So we'll go ahead and program the power button. So I'm going to hit record, push the button, and it's done. So you can see it's got a nice smooth workflow. You don't have to dive into so many settings. The user's actually driving the experience. You can also turn the device and not have the user present. You can do it yourself as well. But we really find from user feedback that the users really love that capability to be part of that process. And then you can add any other devices. Sound bars, let's go ahead and add a new sound bar. Hit record, program the button, now we're done. And when I go back, now I have a sound bar as part of my options for environmental controls. And the only button that's actually there is the power button. And you'll notice in OnBright, there's a cool quick menu at the bottom that pulls up when you glance down. You can pause eye gaze, you can go into settings, and it's a really powerful option for users. I'll go ahead and unpause. Oh, whoops. I think I accidentally turned it off with this remote. Do you mind turning the TV back on? So you'll notice in the UI design, everything has a nice dwell fill animation from the edges to centralize the focal point into the middle. This reduces user fatigue. And you'll also notice in the background, all of the backgrounds are a dark background. We found from user feedback, if you have too many bright backgrounds, more visible light is being consumed by the eyes of the user, which can fatigue their vision and cognition. So we really are excited to have another AAC platform that's fully integrated into the EyeOn Elite that we can continue to improve and update and reduce that user fatigue. So now so we went through the environmental control. Now we're going to go into a text-based communicator. And the thing I love about this is it's really designed to optimize workflow. So any of you guys following the NFL? Raise your hand. A couple of you. Anyone that are go Rams? No? Chiefs. Okay, so let's type go Chiefs. So it's using a dwell click, and we'll go ahead and capitalize the Chiefs. I love the offense the Chiefs have. Their quarterback's incredible. And we can, of course, speed this up as fast as, you know. So we'll go Chiefs. And then if I want to add this as a phrase to one of my categories, I'm going to add this to my greetings. So now when I go to my side button here, this pulls up all my phrases, and I have go Chiefs. And I'll go ahead and delete that, and I can undo. And you can see that the user interface software has been optimized for eye gaze. It's a very intuitive workflow. So good to meet you, all those sorts of things. I can delete any phrases here. So I'll delete hi and then go back. So a nice workflow for literate users. I can pause eye gaze at any time up in the upper corner, or I also have the pause button in the bottom corner. So it gives them options. If I go back to the home screen, let's unpause it. We'll go ahead and dive into this bright symbol. We have, what, 6 minutes left? Is that right? Okay. So here's a great example. In other AAC softwares, when there's a software update, you'll see like a little notification in the upper part of the corner, but the user has no control over that. Feedback from the 26 years we've been doing this, we found that users want to have that control themselves. And so they can just simply look at the update here. I'm not going to do it, but you can see it kind of highlights. We click, and then it shows a list of what updates are available, and you can either skip or accept those updates. So we'll go ahead and skip the update, and we'll go into the bookshelf. Amanda, who I think got pulled a different direction, she worked with our SuccessCoach team and our software team to design this to improve options for our symbol-based communicators. We're using symbol sticks, and it's a great workflow. So how many of you have seen kiddos as young as 2 or 3 use a communication device with eye gaze? Raise your hand. 4 years of age? Oh, Austin, you have? Great. How many of you have seen a kiddo ages 2 or 3 try out a communication device? Okay. So a lot of times you're going to start with something very simple, right? We'll go with maybe 4 buttons. So I'm going to click the book 4. That's 4 buttons. You can also go at the top right and create a new book. And our SuccessCoach team can remote in, and I'll show you how you do that, and adjust and create lesson plans of maybe they're learning about the weather or different animals or things in their neighborhood. You can create those things and add that for the week's learning. So I'm going to open up the book, and now I have 4 options for communication. And I think the audio is not working because I'm connected through the HDMI.
The symbols that you're working with for this, are they symbol sticks?
Symbol sticks.
Okay.
Yep. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. So now if I wanted to go back to the bookshelf, let's go to like 40. We've designed it in a much more logical flow. So any options like the word go, for example, is in the green chunk. And you can see it's more in the kind of upper left section. If we go to the 88 button, which is the most options currently, we can open that, and you'll see the word go is in the green section in the upper kind of left area, go. Yeah, so you'd work with our SuccessCoach team. currently, that is a option that has been requested. And yeah, we're excited to see kind of continue to send that feedback through your rep so we can get that prioritized in the software roadmap. The nice thing about now that we do hardware, software, and support all inclusive, we can have a much more transparent roadmap of what's coming down the pipeline. And I have a couple more minutes. Any particular questions on the OnBright platform with environmental controls, symbol-based or text-based communication? The last thing I wanted to show as you're thinking is going back to the desktop is really where we shine as a company. We can allow users to access the desktop of any application with a blink click or a dwell click. So this allows users to be very fast and efficient in any application. We have guys running AutoCAD, Photoshop, Excel, PowerPoint, all with their eyes. And the blink click is kind of our secret weapon because as you're browsing through a website, maybe shopping on Amazon, with dwell you're constantly pausing and then unpausing. With blink you can just be browsing a website and never have to worry about pausing. And I'll show you that. So I'm going to go in and I can toggle between blink click or dwell click myself. As a user, this is powerful. Other softwares don't allow the user to dynamically change and toggle themselves. So I can change the dwell time, the blink time. So I'm going to stick with blink, which is my preference. We can go into different applications, different browsers, and I'm just looking, blinking, looking, blinking, and it's a very fast and accurate gaze tracking. No zoom required, which is fantastic. If users are doing 200, 300, 400 clicks a day, and they're accurate, that's going to reduce user fatigue and efficiency and speed. And that's really why clinicians and users and family members choose the EyeOn, because of the accuracy and performance and the lifetime success coach behind each device. But with that, I think we have a minute for questions on any of the OnBright software platform that you guys have seen today. So
I'm just curious. Is the OnBright software, is it kind of like based on another, because it's just came out last summer. So what is it based on? What was its precursor? Was it absolutely from scratch?
it was totally from scratch. So we looked at all the different software options, and we found from user feedback that clients were frustrated with, hey, I can't control and dynamically change and adjust things. So I'm going to take this off.